Every community has their own origin story, and ours.
So in the back end of 2020, we were involved in the 2020 project at the Young Vic. It was very much a response to COVID, in which 3 plays had to be turned very quickly into 3 films. And it was around then that Shireen Jasmine Phillips spoke to us about this slot in the summer of 2022 to create a piece celebrating the 25 years of taking part.
We particularly wanted T to be involved because they had been part of taking part as young people and have a very much a long-term, in-depth thought process of how we wanted to imagine that. And then we started looking at various influences, both film and books, to think about how we could imagine what this world could look like.
And at that time, I was in the middle of reading Neil Gaiman's American Gods. And so straight away we started coming up with ideas of what would it look like an English version or a very specific South London version of that. But then it very quickly evolved into what it became, which was magical realism in the everyday.
Growing up, I had like those myths, but to me, myths and stories were kind of the same thing. Mm-hmm. And I was always really confused as to what is a story and what is a myth, and I always just thought they were the same thing.
What defines a myth is maybe that you can't actually find, like, Iliad, Troy and stuff. And then what happens is they actually found Troy. They didn't know it even actually did it exist.
And then we started dreaming that up, and through the dreaming we started to open invitations to different creatives to see how it would look like if we had a lateral approach to storytelling and to making. And we started from the art first and thought, how can we make a true equal collaboration between everyone who's involved in that.
We were really keen that it would be a very flat hierarchical structure. So everyone's voice in the room had the same weight. Everyone brought obviously their own expertise and skill set, but it was very much a collaborative process.
So we've all been feeding into this production and this piece. So it's been really nice that when I've even been stuck for ideas that someone's been able to feed in. It's great because it was a multidisciplined production that we were able to really upskill ourselves and learn about each department and the functions, but also contribute ideas. Really good teamwork. I know it's not always easy to have loads of ideas and boil it down to one. So I really appreciate your patience with each other and continually being kind to each other. It's really, really great.
And we felt that we could all kind of have a say and have an opinion and thoughts creatively, dramaturgically. And it was really wonderful that I think we all connected really quickly as a company, and especially as we hadn't worked with each other before. So that was really special and really lovely.
The horizontalness of the creative team and the creative process meant that everybody's opinions were valued. And I feel like the end result, it was morphed throughout the entire process and morphed through rehearsal, morphed throughout tech, stood to be a piece of work that had everybody's input and so interwoven that you can't really claim too much of anything, which is great because it's a beast that belongs to all of us.
Projects like this are so important because we're coming out of a time when the world has been so fragmented, and actually the process is as important as the final product. So it's about coming together, having discussions, finding ways to kind of creatively express ourselves and process everything that's going on around us, and also just finding space for joy. And I think that's what's been integral for all of us as the creative team, but also for the performers as well.
Oh yes, oh I love that. Okay, what are you doing?
I'm inputting a customer's data onto the computer.
Really, really long procedure. Kate, what are you doing?
Drinking coffee for the same day.
Yeah. Long day, right?
The idea behind this project was to combine all strands of taking part to make a community play that really encompassed the whole of the Cut and Southwark and Lambeth.
For this particular project, we wanted to work with Neighbourhood Theatre Company, and Neighbourhood Theatre Company are a group of people who live in the local borough who are all 25 plus and are interested in learning like new skills, but also being a part of a community and being part of a group in finding new learning and training opportunities within taking part.
The learning strand, which is schools, colleges, alternative provision, any learning setting or centre in Lambeth and Southwark, that strand's involvement within of the Cut was through our partnership with Southwark College. and also our partnership with one of our Innovate schools, South Bank University Academy, and that's how those young people came to be a part of the project.
Okay, pause, let's reset from the phone. So we're going to walk off and you did at the very start. So if you just give the phone back and take that and walk off, and you will sort of like walk off as if you're going around the corner. Do that door there and left, yeah?
Yeah.
And last chance. Cool. And Deb, just a step forward for me, please.
Last chance.
Sorry, pause there, a tiny step back.
Tiny step back.
Perfect, thank you so much. Okay, standing by, and action.
Any other thoughts or questions on how we should behave before we go in? Last chance before I sit down and recover from the trauma of the tube journey. Excellent, thank you. And I'll be having that.
Oh my God, man.
Deserved.
The process really began with all of the participants coming regularly to Saturday workshops, and we'd spend the day with them, with our full creative team, imagining and devising and responding to magical realism.
And each week we would devise scenes that are completely like unlinked together to tell a story about a community that is functioning and cooperating together through magical realism.
So what happened to the chippy is that it's renovated, so now it's a chippy where you pay like 15 quid for fish and chips. It's not magical at all, but we thought to bring the magic back into Waterloo's chippy, we would sell coloured potatoes.
So we thought we'd use that story, but we'd make it so that, I mean, it was very confused obviously in Bungalow when we were doing it, but essentially Satch was coming back as a fish.
And it being an ever morphing thing, because we were still building as we went along, and building a show with a community is a very, very rewarding process because everybody gets to feed in, and so it belongs to everyone, and that is an incredibly amazing thing to have been a part of.
I think the thing that was really unique about this process was the fact that it was being made mindfully with the people in the room. So it's always a process of listening to what is coming up and taking it away and finding a way to kind of synthesize all of the information I've absorbed and turn it into something and present it back. So it feels very collaborative in that sense. It's like, you've given me something, I go away and I have to come back and ask, did I do it right?
It gives a space for the community to be involved in storytelling about the community. And we had the opportunity when we were younger to be part of a project like this. It was the first contact point with theatre, and such a prestigious theatre as well. Everyone in the community should have that opportunity to be a part of that, and hopefully an important part of the project is to allow people to share their voice and rebuild a community feeling, especially after what happened in 2020.
It may be the character you presented last week, it may be a new, fresh one. But the key thing is a character that is in or of the cut. That's voice we need to hear. That voice needs to be heard, because they are holding some kind of information that is important for an audience.
It's therapeutic for a lot of people, and being able to like be part of something, be part of a production, be part of work, and meet different people across different ages and across different, backgrounds and, life experiences. I think that's really important in just, people coming together and learning different things about themselves, challenging themselves, pushing themselves.
I also think it was the fact that we had experts in the creative team as well. So we had people who were experts in film, experts in sound, experts in directing. So also as well, the first couple of weeks, there was lots of opportunities for them to learn new skills, learn how to act for camera, or learn what it is to record. And I think it's really beautiful when you see people who didn't think anything about sound, but now realizing how important it is and how much they use it in their everyday. So I think it was just about also how can we empower people in the group to feel like, if you are having these interests, this is some of the roles that are available to you too. So it wasn't just about the process, but it's also about how can we empower and inspire people to see what's happening in the creative world, and if you want to be a part of it, you can learn, and here's a space for you.
Okay, we're going to roll.
How's this?
Yeah, that's nice. So like hold it between your finger and your thumb and just like rotate it a little bit. That's it. So like you can lift it up a bit higher to your face. Just like really examine it.
planted magic for the underdogs, for generations after us, promising beauty and limitless possibility. This is precious and should be treated as such. This magic will outlive us, and we intend for it to do so.
The decision to release the magic into the cut wasn't an easy one. Will it be used for good, for bad, for all, or for the few?
Will it even be acknowledged, passed off at the everyday?
This is the time. This is the place.
Are you watching closely? Everything's about to change.
The Cut is known as the street that never sleeps, a destination for some of London's leading theatre and a thriving hub of local restaurants and businesses. But for local people, it has long been known for strange sightings and occurrences that can only be described as, well, magic. Until recently, this magic has been regulated, very much woven into the fabric of everyday life. But following an accident on a nearby construction site, things are said to have reached fever pitch. The question now is, do local people hold on to an identity that has been defining them for centuries, or does the Cut let go, moving on into the unknown, but nonetheless extraordinary future? I'm here to get a sense of how people are feeling on the ground. Hello, do you mind answering a question for me?
Not at all.
What are your thoughts on the Cut's ancient magic escaping?
There's always been magic in the Cut. It's nothing unusual. As to escaping, well, it's happened before, so it's not out of the ordinary.
We had ancient magic escape.
It was going to happen, one way or another.
No idea.
It's a complete disaster. It is terrible. It is uncalled for.
We're hearing reports that people who have been exposed are becoming charged with magic, causing it to spread in extreme and unregulated ways. Have you seen anything strange?
You know, it's really funny you say that, because the other day I was kind of quite far away and I saw this person kind of, not carrying their shopping bags, but they were just like levitating underneath their hands. And I thought that was a bit weird, because you don't usually see that far away from the Cut.
If it makes people feel better, wonderful. Bring it on, I say, bring it on.
Should we be worried?
But yeah, I've seen people disappear in front of my eyes, like slowly just disappear. It's bonkers.
A lot of things that occur here might be seen as strange, but to those of us who dwell here, it's a perfectly normal way of life.
And finally, what do you say to the cynics, those people who don't believe magic exists at all?
Come to the Cut.
So there you have it. You've heard what they think, but this is still a community trying to make up its mind. But what are the correct answers to these questions? Who's to say?
Just remember, when audiences come, don't engage that. We just want to stay on top of professionalism.
which way you need to go. Whether you need to come back to the clear and move on, or go to your next scene. Yeah? No interactions with your mate that you might see in the audience until the show is wrapped and done and over. Action, go. Sorry, go on.
Oh, but we can't see them.
I don't know. In that case. What was the line? Intense.
Okay guys, you've got 15 minutes until show. Ready? Cool, thank you. Yes, love.
Sure.
Do you want to go in the next?
I've absolutely loved every minute of it.
It's been a massive collaborative effort.
And I think we've made something that is quite personal.
Like we've done so many different things as well with it, like it being a multimedia project. I felt like I got to experience different worlds of creativity.
And I've really appreciated the intergenerational aspect to it.
You know, being like fresh out of college and like finishing my drama course, it's something refreshing to do, you know, like a proper acting job.
Its timing was very fortuitous because I lost my brother before the start of the process in May, and just the support has just been fantastic. I've got a new family. I might have lost my brother, but I've gained a fantastic family. I've loved every minute of it. The road is highly charged with magic, and magic is diminishing. Please, cross the road and stick to the walls, please.
It's really benefited me as the first production I've done outside of school. I think it's given me a chance to learn how to work with people really well and kind of build connections with people and understand different perspectives while acting.
I had not performed before, so I was quite nervous and anxious to begin with, being with quite a large group of people. But as time has gone on and I've gotten to know everyone, it's just such an amazing set of people there.
It's been really great to work with such a range of different people and being able to just grow and befriend people that you wouldn't normally have the chance to interact with.
Because the truth can cause conflict, my love, and attention can break me out in hives. I thought that would have been pretty clear by now.
Not unless you say it.
Give us sense of belonging, where to go to, meeting people. Otherwise, some of us feel lost.
Or it's an opportunity for people who wouldn't otherwise have had a platform to perform. Like, I know a lot of directors, they use Spotlight to cast their actors. This is going to give a lot of people who wouldn't have otherwise had an acting credit.
It's been really fun, and I think everyone has been really encouraging, really friendly.
I think the Young Vic should continue doing these projects because there's some people with autism, and for some people who with autism doesn't get to like do things like this, and it's like very difficult to find a place for an autistic person to feel comfortable in.
During that waiting, it was a nightmare trying to find a metallic yarn.
Yeah, well, you might want to hold on to that, Margaret. We're in the middle of a revolution.
Oh.
And just opening their door to people who wouldn't, you know, take part in these activities and, you know, workshops. I think it's been really important.
And I think it's a good way of addressing wider social issues like isolation, particularly for older people perhaps, or people who are unemployed. I think it affords the gaining of valuable skills. Study earlier. The only way to prepare for British weather is to wear a bikini and a fur coat on top. That way you're ready for anything.
A lot of theatres can seem really closed off, so to have an opportunity to come in a building and make it feel like you're home and make you feel like you have a family here is just invaluable.
It's for the young, the old, it's for community, and we need this space. This is what's so great about the Young Vic. When you become involved with the Young Vic, it becomes your your second home.
This should continue and it should be funded and giving people like me a chance to broaden our horizons. And I think also, you know, not just people like me because of background and maybe age, but someone like me who has learned difficulties from that kind of background is giving me a chance to do certain things, and I've really, really enjoyed it.
Even on a greater scale, I think having art around, I just makes things better for the community, the local area, and it just enriches lives.
Yeah. And we can all create art, that's what it shows.
Yeah.
We're all capable of creating art.
Yeah, absolutely. That's it. You know, create art and make, you know, things beautiful.
I think they'll take away from the show the
Joy. Go. Joy, that was it.
A feeling of togetherness and hope and opportunity within their community and their story, and gave them a chance to reflect on how they fit in within their community.
To understand that professional productions can exist in many spaces that are unconventional and not necessarily just the theatrical walls that we're used to experiencing.
I hope they take away a little piece of history from, like, you know, around the Young Vic and around the cut. I also hope they take away, like, the potential of, you know, a production. Things can work regardless of what your backgrounds are.
I think at the core of this play is a sense that we engage with our local surroundings in a way that sometimes feels quite robotic, and sometimes looking at them with a new lens, or looking at the people that we engage with frequently and finding ways to connect.
And the participants are kind of from all over, and so are we as a creative team. So I think that just really already starts to tell the story, and I hope that translates into the piece.
Any strand of theatre making, whether it be directing or designing or stage management or sound or film and multidisciplinary, it could be for everyone, I think. And that has been the most rewarding bit, because every time you're in part of this process and every day you come in, everyone's learning a bit from each other.
Every community has its own origin story, and ours evolved when the magic escaped.
Somewhere in that freedom, in the unsure and unknown, we became more connected.
We saw each other more truthfully, and truth is the best foundation.
Because nothing holds us back like ignoring reality and resisting change.
The world is a better place when it's one that can be reimagined, carefully rebuilt.
Things aren't perfect, but we have adapted.
We've found new ways to hold our stories, knowing that even on this day,
no one will leave the cut unchanged.